You need to know yourself. Once you know yourself, everything starts to fall into place. But you're never going to learn more about yourself in a casino. Welcome back to another solo episode of the One Day at a Time Gambling Addiction Podcast. I'm your host, Rob, and today is day 220 for me away from gambling. It has been 220 days since I placed my last bet on November the 12th of 2022. So, what have I learned since then? That's exactly what we're going to be talking about today, and I'm going to give you some reflections as to how I'm feeling on a daily basis and what are the types of urges that I'll still encounter when it comes to gambling. So, for those of you who are unfamiliar with my channel, welcome. If this is the first time you're hearing my voice, happy to have you as part of our community. So, I gambled every single day for 6 years, about 6 to 8 hours per day. I was spending almost all of my time gambling, as you might be able to tell. I was losing a lot of money, but more importantly, I was losing all that time that I spent gambling. And those were years that I was in college, I was just getting into the workforce, and it was years that I could have spent, developing friendships and relationships that could have lasted the rest of my life. So part of why I make the content that I do here on YouTube is that I want you to not have to waste as much time and money on gambling before you get to the realization that it might not be for you. Again, my content isn't for everyone because not everyone's going to become a gambling addict. But in the United States alone, there's 2 million gambling addicts right now with millions more around the world. And I think that number's likely pretty low because it's a self-reported number and gambling addiction is very easily hidden. So since there's so many people struggling out there, I want to make sure that you're able to find the resources that you need to live a happier and healthier life without the chaos of gambling if you choose to live without it. What have I learned since November the 12th? And what am I feeling on a regular basis now? On February 8th of 2022, I actually decided I would quit gambling forever. And that lasted for about 7 months. And I got to a really good point in life where I wasn't craving the bet every day. But what I lacked was any type of passion and anything to do with my day. All I cared about was not gambling. And that was still a win in my book. But it slowly dawned on me that that wouldn't be enough. And when I had moved to Philadelphia from New Jersey, I realized that I hadn't properly self-excluded in the state of Pennsylvania. So, when I got the temptation one weekend, I found myself standing in a casino on my third cash advance of the day, which I talk about in this video over here. But check that out after this one. I got to the thought that I don't want to keep living this way. I don't want my life to be based on something that's out of my control, and I don't want to keep going broke and having to start from square one over and over again. Seeing that my addiction was during this huge development period for me, I'm really far behind where a lot of my friends actually have ended up because I was consistently focused on hitting it big instead of building myself up. Now, on November 12th, I made the decision that had to be the last time I gambled. I'd said it before many, many times in the past, don't get me wrong, but what I was lacking is what I want to talk about today. I was lacking structure and purpose in my life. So when I made my purpose simply not gambling, it wasn't tangible. It wasn't something that I could feel on a daily basis and feel like I was getting better at. It's black and white. Did you gamble or did you not gamble? And when I got to the point that I said, all right, I'm going to find something in my life that I can get better at each and every day, that's when I finally stopped thinking about gambling so much. And I mentioned in the beginning of the video that I was going to tell you about urges that I feel, but the truth is, I don't feel urges on a regular basis because I'm so busy and I'm keeping my mind and body active. So making these videos on YouTube and over on other social media apps really takes up a lot of my day. I spend probably between 6 and 8 hours making videos, writing scripts, editing videos, talking to other people, recording podcasts, etc. Without that, I'd have 6 to 8 hours in my day that I'd have to fill with something productive, or I'd be sitting there thinking. And when you're sitting there thinking and doing nothing, that's when the thoughts come in. Oh, I could just gamble. I could hit it big and then I can do this exciting thing with the money. But the truth is that those are just thoughts that you're having to convince yourself to get back in action. Not to do anything great with the money, not to accomplish anything specifically, just to get that thrill back of being involved with gambling. So my main realization over the last few months has been to stay busy, but stay busy purposefully. I used to just think that not gambling was enough, but it's not. You have to be working on something you care about, or you're going to get bored and you're going to go back to whatever brings you the most passion and joy. If gambling is that for you, you're in a very, very dangerous position. Now, Not everyone's going to want to go online and create videos, and that's okay. Everyone has their purpose, everyone has something that they enjoy. So you need to find what it is for you, because it sure as hell isn't gambling. Were you put on this earth to spin a roulette wheel or play blackjack? I just can't imagine that that's actually the case. You were put on this earth to make an impact in some field that you'll find through your life that you're passionate about. And for me, it's creating content to help others recover from their gambling addiction. But for you, it might be art. It might be music. It might be sports, athletics. It might be research, going back to school. Whatever it is, it's not gambling. It's just not. You need to get out there and find something that you can be passionate about and you can be proud about on a daily basis as you're putting in time to fill that gap of time. An idle mind is the devil's playground. That's the saying. So don't have an idle mind. Constantly be reading something, writing something, thinking about something productive. Going to the gym, a run, yoga, archery, basketball, football, badminton, tennis, pickleball. It doesn't matter. Find something in your life that's not gambling. That's where the difference came for me. This time around in my recovery, I'm constantly staying busy and I'm constantly becoming a better person. Without that growth, you're just delaying the inevitable. So the top tips that I can give you right away is find a support group near you. You need to learn from other people who are going through this and hear what's working for them. When you know what's working for them, you can apply it to your own life and use those lessons productively without having to suffer enough pain to learn them yourself. Also, you get an accountability aspect to that. Not only do you have to stay busy, but you have to stay honest. If you're not being honest with the other people at those group meetings, there's no point in going. So being there, it provides you with that incentive to just tell people the truth. How are you feeling this week? Have you thought about gambling? Did you gamble? Why did you gamble? When you start to reflect more on things with other people holding you accountable, you can learn a lot about yourself. I've learned so much more about myself in 7 months than I did in 23 years prior. So I really recommend giving those meetings a chance. But the main thing that I've learned, the number one lesson that I've learned over the last 7 months, is that if you don't know yourself, you're not going to be happy. You're going to eventually go back to things outside of yourself to try to feel satisfaction and feel like life has meaning again. If you're not looking inward and learning more about yourself, you're never going to know what you're passionate about. You're never going to know what you like. And you're only going to keep doing things that are bringing you temporary joy. There's a huge difference between delayed gratification and instant gratification. Instant gratification is gambling, drinking, drugs, TV, whatever it is that you're feeling good in the moment. Delayed gratification is working on yourself, knowing it might not feel as good in the moment, but in a week from now, a month from now, a year from now, you're going to be so much better off for it. I've learned that I love creating this content. And you know what? It's really scary to do it at first because no one's watching. You're not getting any views. You're not getting any feedback. You have to keep going every single day or nothing will change. And I kind of see it as a metaphor towards living a better life. You know, just because you're only getting 10 views on your video doesn't mean that you're not making an impact. You're going to make an impact, you're going to get better, and you're going to be able to help more people as you help yourself improve. That is exactly what it's about for me, and that's what I've learned since I quit gambling. You need to know yourself. Once you know yourself, everything starts to fall into place. But you're never going to learn more about yourself in a casino. The only time that you're going to learn more about yourself is when you put down that addiction and start to move forward to live a happier and healthier life in recovery. And if you want to do that, and you're not quite sure how to start, you're in the exact right place. So thank you for watching this solo episode. I'll be posting another video tomorrow, so I'll see you then. And let's keep getting better together, one day at a time.